In my last video, I talked about Padma Inverted, and your guys' response to that video made me happy. But after that video, I made a post asking you guys what I should make a video on next. YouTube is bad at showing posts though, but luckily one of you commented, and that's all I really needed to make a video. Thank you. The person who commented was Octo, and they said to check out 80s anime or older stuff that isn't talked about. So I looked up 80s anime and began searching. I wanted to find something no one has ever talked about. I've seen early Studio Ghibli stuff already, and I also tried avoiding shows I've heard of. So after looking into multiple 80s anime, I landed on an anime movie from 1987 called Wicked City. A peace treaty has been in effect for hundreds of years to prevent a war between Earth and the Black World. Although it's set to be renewed, evil forces want to make sure that that doesn't happen. To ensure it does, hard-bitten human Taki and sexy demon Maki are charged with protecting a diplomat, Mayart, who holds the key to peace. But with an army of multi-dimensional assassins on their trail, it won't be easy. Now let me explain what happens in the anime. Spoilers ahead if you want to go check this out for yourself, I guess. First off, we have our main character Taki, who is a member of the secret police force known as the Black Guard. Their job is to stop demons from the Black World who break the treaty, or humans from the human world that break the treaty between them. Taki is one of, if not the best Black Guard agents they have, but as said by another character in the story, his only weakness is that he's a player. Me personally, I'm still a virgin cause, well, I never lose, unlike Taki. This man has way too much sex. I guess it helps set the tone of the story since throughout the whole movie everyone just is really horny and wants to have sex. Everyone in this movie needs to go to horny jail immediately. The worst part, well, I guess it's kind of funny. I watched the movie for free on Tubi TV, but the problem is the voice acting's in English and it kind of ruins the tension since the dub is extremely monotone. 5 minutes in, the girl he's in the hotel with goes to give him a blowjob and she says, "Let me see if I can wake him up," if you know what I mean. But I just started laughing because right after she said that, Taki's voice actor talks like this and he says, "I never knew a wild woman like her could have such a proper exterior." I mean, the dub voice actors really didn't care in the 80s, I guess. But in the next minute, he almost loses his penis? Can I say that? Is that okay? Because, well, he almost loses it because it turns out the girl was a demon who turned into a spider, but has a mouth where her vagina should be. This anime is what you'd call an ecchi nowadays, but back then they didn't care to show the nipples on boobs. But they still don't show actual vaginas, I guess, but they will show nipples. And with all the demons and sex, I'm not gonna lie, the topic that rhymes with grape comes up a lot in this film. And the diplomat that Taki and Maki have to protect is this old man who's a pervert, because, you know, that's a character's whole personality type, you know? He just makes constant sex jokes and literally sneaks away from them, even though they're there to protect him just so he can go have sex. The old man needs to sign a peace treaty that's getting renewed between the two worlds. Really important, but he is willing to risk it all for boats and hoes. Boats and hoes. But let's talk about the action in the movie, since you'd think with all this awkward sex talk they'd have some decent fight scenes. I mean, sure. Taki's main weapon, he has a revolver that has special bullets that kill demons, but for some reason every time he shoots it, the kickback is insane. He'll shoot it and just get launched back into a wall and dent it. And anytime someone uses a psychic power or some crazy move, well, this is all 80s anime really. They'll make the screen flash during the attack to cover up any like weirdness in the animation. Most 80s anime do this, I don't know why. But enough about fighting. What I really want to talk about is the main plot twist in the movie that the whole movie just builds up to. Taki and Maki were assigned to protect the diplomat so he could sign a peace treaty to join the two worlds, like, once again, because it's getting renewed. Taki being a Black Guard from the human world and Maki being a Black Guard from the Black World. But at the end of the movie, you learn that the diplomat, who's this old man, is actually protecting them and not the other way around. He goes on to explain that every 1,000 years there are two people who could have a mixed child from both worlds, and Taki and Maki are those two people, and they're the ones who are supposed to sign the treaty. Now, writing-wise, good plot twist, but the problem is the romance between Taki and Maki. In one night, they apparently fall in love with each other, even though you can't really tell, since all that happens is Maki risks her life to save Taki first, and then Taki risks his life to save Maki. I hate writing like this. You expect me, just because they saved one another, they're supposed to instantly love each other? There's like no build-up, no romantic tension between them. I mean, the dub voice acting really doesn't help in that factor. But in the later half of the movie, they literally die. And you could care less about it. But something even more stupid happens right after. The old man brings them back to life, and the only explanation to how he did it was that he has psychic powers. And we're just supposed to accept that. But when Taki and Maki awake, they are next to each other in some random location that they've never been or don't know where they are, but they're naked. And their first instinct, being naked in a location they have never seen before, is to have sex. Because of course that makes sense. I wake up next to a person I just met naked in a place I've never been. I'll be like, well, fuck it. Literally. But then after having sex, 5 minutes later, apparently Maki is pregnant within 5 minutes and gains powers that are beyond normal psychic powers because a demon getting pregnant with a human child makes them stronger. This is the part of the anime that just feels like a fever dream, because everything leading up to them dying was already hard to understand. But after they die, Taki's like, actually, I'm too hard to stand. Wicked City, like I said, came out in 1987, and it was directed by... I got this name. By Yoshiaki Kawajiri. I got that name right. He also directed Ninja Scrolls, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, and Goku Midnight Eye. Wicked City was his first work, and well, I'll say it's very interesting. Outside of the plot and the surplus amount of sex jokes, the animation I actually enjoyed. There are scenes when I was watching where I said, wow, that is genuinely horrifying, and I wouldn't say it's really terrifying though. I'd just say it's very unsettling most of the time, which I kind of like. I kind of like the vibe of like the whole animation and the soundtrack of the 80s. I think it was, I pretty much enjoyed just the animation part. Also, real quick, just to let you know, this was animated by Studio Madhouse, you know, the ones who made Death Note, Hellsing Ultimate, and Black Lagoon, just to name a few. I would recommend this movie for you to watch if you want a unique experience with a dark atmosphere. It's not really that special in many ways, but to tell you the truth, I'll definitely remember this over the overwhelming amount of isekai coming out right now. The real meaning behind the story of Wicked City is that love, even if it's forced, won't work out if it's not true love. That's the message I got out of it, but you might get something completely different, to be honest. Like I said before, you can go watch this on Tubi TV for free if you want to check it out yourself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But before you leave, I'd like to ask you to subscribe and like, since it helps my channel out a lot. And also, comment what you want me to make a video on next. I plan on taking all of the suggestions, put them on a randomizer, and whichever one I get, that'll be the next video. But that's all for me this week. Have a good day, everyone. Peace.